Hey everyone, it's Maggie and I am so excited for the video today because the other week I bought so many books for so cheap. I was just the happiest gal. I don't even know how many books I have. I'm just so pumped. I'm jazzed, guys. And if you're like Maggie, you have some dots on your face. I tried fake freckles today and it didn't turn out well, so we're just not gonna talk about it and move on to the books. So I got all my books from this amazing store called Tidal Wave, and it is a library resale store. So these are books from my local library that for whatever reason they donated to Tidal Wave, and then the money from Tidal Wave goes directly back to my library. So I am getting really cheap books and supporting my library. These might be slightly damaged because I take off the plastic covering and as many stickers as I can, but with that some of the covers get a little damaged. The first book I have is The Woman in the Castle by Jessica Shattuck. So reading the inside of this cover, this book is following post-World War II in Germany. I am not sure if the main character and also the women that she picks up along the way to go back to Germany, if they are the wives and children of Nazi soldiers or the resistance against the Nazis. It's kind of vague. I think I'm going to really enjoy this book either way though, because I just love historical fiction, especially when it evolves around women, because we don't really know enough about women in history, and I love supporting people that decide that women should have their history told. What? Crazy. Next we have The Revolution of Marina M. by Janet Fitch, and this book I actually bought for my sister last year for Christmas, and I definitely could borrow it from her. I'm not entirely sure if she's read it yet, but I could borrow it from her. We share books. But this is a hefty book, and I know if I borrowed it, I probably would just never get around to reading it because it is almost 1,000 pages long. This book follows Marina M. as she is living in Russia in 1916, and there is revolutionary things that are happening. She falls in love with a poet. Marina seems like a badass character who's just trying to figure out where she fits in her life and in her country. My sister loves books that take place in Russia, and I do too, so I'm really excited to read this one too. Then I bought The Race for Paris by Meg Waite Clayton. Again, this one takes place in 1944. This book follows two female war correspondents and their race to Paris to cover the Allied forces' liberation in Paris. And it talks about their difficulties being female reporters with their male colleagues, things that I will immediately buy, anything about Paris and anything following World War II or World War I. Then I have a YA novel called The Love Letters of Abelard and Lily by Laura Creedle. Partially I picked this up because the cover is really gorgeous. This book follows two teens as they fall in love. They have a teenage romance in high school. It's interesting because it all surrounds the love letters of Abelard and Heloise, which I've never read before, but is apparently something about philosophy. Something you should know about me is I hate philosophy, like to its core. But I love a teenage romance with unconventional characters, so I am excited to pick this one up. The next book and its author I will not be able to pronounce at all. Its title is Suite Françoise by Irene Nimoyevsky. This book is also set in 1940 in Paris and the Nazi occupation. I've written numerous papers about France and its Nazi occupation. I just find it so fascinating. This book follows a large cast of characters, I think, just trying to also figure out what they're gonna do during this Nazi occupation. On to the next book, and it is Norwegian Wood by Haruki Murakami, and this book is based in the 60s in Tokyo, Japan, about college students who are romantically involved and bonded over their mutual friend's death that happened 2 years previously. What eventually happens is the female character continues to hide within herself. She is retreating from everyone she knows, and same with the male character. He is just having a lot of struggles. I maybe picked it up because it was called Norwegian Wood and it's loosely based around the song by the Beatles, and I love that song so much. Then, because I'm always picking up more books by Jane Austen, we have Persuasion! Woo! This This one, I could not get the stickers off. It was 75 cents though, so I think I'm gonna read it, and then if I end up liking it, then I might get a prettier copy later on. I haven't read Persuasion before, so I wanted to pick it up. Then I have a Stephanie Plum novel by Janet Ivanovich, and it is To the Nines, which is the 9th book in the Stephanie Plum series. If you don't know who Stephanie Plum is, she is a badass bounty hunter who always seems to get herself into trouble, but also she still catches the bad guy. There are 2 very attractive men in this novel. It's just quirky and beautiful, and I love these books. Almost every woman on my mom's side of the family has read these books. We love them. I would definitely recommend picking this series up. And in my perpetual mission to find like the 1940s, 50s, 60s classics, I picked up Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut. I haven't read this book. I really like these tiny paperback editions. I actually don't really know what this book is about. Let's see how this one goes. Next we have Three Martini Lunch by Susan Rindell, and this is actually by the same author who wrote The Other Typist, which I have yet to read because I know it's a spooky book, but when I bought it, I thought it was just any other book that was written in the 1920s about a stenographer and her stenographer friend. And then I realized after I bought it, it's actually about a woman who's becoming obsessed with her friend and is trying to become her friend. So I haven't read that one yet. This one seems a lot more lighthearted. It's in the 1950s, around 3 characters who are in the publishing business in New York City, and really there was nothing else that I needed. I also am so excited because I found the hardcover edition of A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I have the paperback edition for A Court of Thorns and Roses, but for the other 2 in the series, I have the hardcover. And for this book only, I was like, I need the aesthetic. I love this trilogy so much. I need them all to be hardcover. This book is a hard twist on Beauty and the Beast, but with fairies and fantasy and romance. I'm excited that I have this in my possession finally, and that it was $1.50. The next book I definitely picked up because I loved its cover and its title, and it is Tosh Hart's Tolstoy, a novel by Catherine Ormsby. And just look at this. Just take it in all its glory. This book follows a girl who's doing an amateur video series that is a modern take on Anna Karenina, and then all of a sudden she goes viral, and she now is up for a nomination, and she might come face to face to her online flirtationship with this boy who is probably equally geeky and very adorable and cute. I love modern takes on old stories. Can we look at the Lizzie Bennet Diaries? Emma approves. I mean, I love that. I probably will read this and then really in my soul wish that we actually had this adaptation, but it's okay. I'll be fine. This book takes place in 1940, but in New York City. Hello friends, this is Editing Maggie just popping in to say that I in fact never said what the title and author of this book was. So it is Unspeakable Things by Kathleen Spivak. Okay. Now you can go back to the regular video. And this follows a cast of war refugees from different places around Europe who are trying to reinvent themselves, but also find who they truly are and try to be accepted and just figure out their lives in New York City. Then we have Girl About Town by Adam Shankman and Laura L. Sullivan. This book takes place in 1931 in New York City, and it follows a girl who witnessed a mafia hit, and to pay for her silence, she gets thrown into the world of acting, or as they call it, Tinseltown. And then there's a son of a man who's very powerful in the mafia, and he just finds out what the heck his dad does, and he has inner turmoil about that. Most likely they're going to meet up, fall in love, go against the mafia. That is just what I predict, and I'm excited for it. So the next book we have is Love and Friendship, in which Jane Austen's Lady Susan Vernon is entirely vindicated. And this is by Whit Stillman, who is a writer-director of the film Love and Friendship. So this is kind of what I was talking about with the Tosh Hart's Tolstoy. With the modern adaptations, I am really excited to read this. The cover looks really funny. The problem is I've never read Love and Friendship, so I feel like I need to read that. And then I feel like I will be able to understand this book a little bit more before I dive into it. Then I got The Little French Bistro, a novel by Nina George, who is the author of The Little Paris Bookshop, which I own. My friend gave it to me for my birthday a couple years back, but I've yet to read it. But I don't know why I haven't, because both books take place in France. This one is about about a gal who is in Paris and then she's like fed up with her life and she needs to go to the Parisian countryside. She falls in love and it just seems like a really fun novel. And the final book I have is The Gilded Cage by Lucinda Gray. You know what? I'm gonna just read the inside because I've done so many books so far. I just need a little break for my brain. So this book follows a 16-year-old girl named Catherine Rudolph who grew up in a farm in Virginia. Her new life, gilded with the splendor of upper-class England in the 1820s, is shattered when her brother mysteriously drowns. Murder! Most likely. Catherine is expected to observe the mourning customs and move on with her life, but she can't accept that her brother's death was an accident. Soon, a bitter poacher prowls the estate, and strange visitors threaten the occupants of the house. There's even a rumor that a wild animal stalks the woods of Waltingham. I think that's how you say that. Can Catherine retain her sanity long enough to find out the truth, or will her brother's killer claim her life first? Knowing me, I think you know why I picked this up. I'm so pumped! After I finish this video, I'm gonna edit it and then read so many books, and I'm so excited. So that's it, everyone. I bought 17 books for $21.75. Can we just? I really recommend that you guys look up if there's a library resale shop in your town. If you like this video, please give it a big ol' thumbs up. And if you did like this video, I highly recommend that you subscribe because I come out with a video every single Wednesday and Friday. So if you like my stuff, might as well subscribe so you don't miss any of my content. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please put it in the comment section down below. I love hearing what you guys have to say. And that is it. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Bye.